It was a quiet afternoon in a small rural village surrounded by lush green fields and thick forests. The air was filled with the hum of insects and the gentle rustle of leaves. Farmers were busy tending to their crops, and cows grazed peacefully near the edge of the forest. But peace is fragile, and sometimes nature can turn unexpectedly dangerous. In the distance, a group of villagers suddenly heard frantic mooing echoing from the forest. At first, they thought one of the cows had simply strayed too far, but soon the cries grew desperate and painful. Something was terribly wrong. A few men ran toward the sound, only to freeze in shock when they reached the clearing. A massive python, thick as a tree trunk and nearly 20 feet long, had coiled itself tightly around a helpless cow. The terrified animal was struggling for its life, its eyes wide with fear, its legs kicking in panic. The python's scales glistened in the sunlight, and its muscular body squeezed tighter with every movement of the cow. The villagers could only watch in horror. One of the men, Rahim, shouted, "We need help! Call the rescue team!" Another villager sprinted back to the main road, dialing the local animal rescue hotline. Within minutes, the Wildlife Emergency Rescue Team received the call. They were a brave group of volunteers trained to handle dangerous situations involving wild animals, snakes, leopards, and everything in between. When the rescue truck arrived, sirens off but urgency in the air, the team jumped out with nets, long metal hooks, and protective gloves. The team leader, Captain Farhan, quickly assessed the situation. He saw the cow's breathing was slowing and the python's grip was growing tighter. Every second counted. Everyone stay calm and keep a safe distance, Farhan commanded. If the snake feels threatened, it could attack or tighten its grip. We must act smart, not fast. Two rescuers moved quietly behind the python, while another distracted it from the front by waving a long stick. The snake turned its head slightly, sensing danger, but didn't release the cow. The team needed to find the snake's tail and begin loosening the coil, slowly and carefully. One brave rescuer named Amir crawled closer on his knees, moving inch by inch, sweat dripping down his face. He finally spotted the thick tail of the python near the cow's hind legs. "I've got the tail," he whispered. Farhan nodded and signaled the others to get ready. "On my count," said Farhan. 3, 2, 1, go! Amir grabbed the tail firmly and began to uncoil the heavy snake, while two others used long hooks to support
up to
and
20
lift
feet
parts
long
of
and
its
is an
body away
excellent
from
swimmer.
the cow. The python
Notice how it
thrashed
uses its
violently,
body to
hissing and
navigate its
snapping at
environment
the
up
air.
to 20 feet
The
long and
rescuers
is an
held their
excellent
ground,
swimmer.
using all their
Notice
strength
how
to
it
keep
uses its
control.
body to
The
navigate its
villagers
environment
watched
up to 20
breathlessly
feet
from a
long and
distance.
is an excellent
Mothers
swimmer.
clutched their children.
Notice how
An
it
older
uses its
man
body to
whispered
navigate
prayers.
its environment up to
The
20
scene was
feet long
tense,
and is an
almost
excellent
surreal,
swimmer.
a life and death struggle
Notice how it
between
uses its
man,
body
beast,
to
and
navigate its
nature.
environment up to
After
20
several
feet
minutes
long and
of
is an
fierce
excellent
effort,
swimmer.
the team managed to
Notice how it
loosen
uses
one
its
full
body to
coil.
navigate its
The
environment
cow
up to 20
gasped and
feet
tried
long
to
and is an
stand,
excellent
but it
swimmer.
was still trapped under the
Notice how
snake's
it
weight.
uses its body to
Farhan
navigate its
shouted,
environment
"Hold
up to
steady!
20 feet
We're
long and
almost
is an
there."
excellent
Another
swimmer.
rescuer quickly
Notice
placed
how
a
it
metal
uses its
rod
body
between
to
the
navigate
snake's
its
head and the
environment up to
cow's
20
neck,
feet long and is
preventing
an
it from
excellent
tightening
swimmer.
again.
Notice
With
how
one
it uses its
final
body
heave,
to
the
navigate its
team
environment
pulled
up
the
to
snake
20 feet
completely
long and is
off
an
the cow.
excellent swimmer.
The animal stumbled to
Notice
its feet,
how it uses
weak
its body
and
to
trembling but
navigate its
alive.
environment.
The villagers erupted in cheers. The sound of clapping and shouting filled the air. The rescue team had done the impossible. They had saved a life from the deadly grip of nature's most powerful predator. But their work wasn't over. The python, though restrained, was still dangerous. It coiled again, ready to strike. Farhan quickly ordered his team to cover its head with a thick cloth to block its vision. Using special snake-handling tongs, they carefully lifted the python into a large reinforced cage in the back of their truck. Once the snake was secured, Farhan turned to the villagers. "No one should harm it," he said firmly. The python was only following its instincts. "We'll release it deep in the forest where it can live safely away from humans and livestock." The villagers nodded in agreement. The cow was taken to a local veterinary clinic for treatment. The vet confirmed that, though it had bruises and muscle strain, it would recover fully. The owner of the cow, an old farmer named Gula, had tears in his eyes. "You saved my cow," he said, his voice trembling with gratitude. "I owe you everything." Farhan smiled and replied, "You owe us nothing." We only did our duty to protect life, both animal and human. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, the rescue team drove deep into the forest. They found a remote area far from the village and gently released the giant python into the wild. The snake slithered away silently into the dense undergrowth, disappearing like a shadow among the trees. On the way back, the team reflected on the day's events. Amir, still exhausted but proud, said, "Every time we save an animal, I feel we make the world a little better." Farhan nodded. Yes, courage is not about fighting nature. It's about understanding it. When they returned to the village, the people welcomed them like heroes. Children ran after the truck, waving and shouting, "Snake heroes! Snake heroes!" The story of the courageous rescue spread quickly through nearby towns and even made it to local news. Everyone praised the bravery and teamwork of the rescuers who risked their lives to save an innocent animal. The cow recovered within a few days and was soon back in the fields, grazing peacefully as if nothing had happened. But for those who witnessed that terrifying moment, it was a reminder of how fragile life can be and how powerful courage and compassion truly are. Weeks later, the rescue team received a small gift from the villagers, a basket full of fruits, milk, and homemade bread, with a note that read, "For our heroes who fought the giant python." Farhan placed the note on the wall of their office, under the team's motto, "Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the strength to act despite it." And so, the legend of the brave rescue team lived on, a tale of heart, heroism, and harmony between man and nature.